Coming into YouTube Live now. And Discord Live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Let me see. Good afternoon. Wherever you are. Let me see here. Bitcoin with, yeah, literally, though. Hurricanes. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. All around the world, crazy things happening. Let me pop this out. I don't know why it won't let me. Sorry, guys. We're just waiting for people to join in on the Discord. If you want a clear stream, you guys are on YouTube. My stream right now is going to be pretty clear for my screen, but when Mickey takes over, might get a little fuzzy. But if you join our Discord at discord.gg/lux, you will be able to see our screens and chat. We answer most of the chat questions in the Discord, so feel free to join that, and we'll see you in there. But yeah, we got Bitcoin with the sell-off here. Let's see, Bitcoin today not down too bad. The daily chart here, we had that real crazy volatility from the other day. Remember, we had that pump and now reject. We talked about, that consolidation before the run, but yeah, we're coming right back down now. Looking at the intraday price from the past, let's see, Thursday into today through this evening. Right now, what I have up is what's called the trend catcher. I'm going to take off price action concepts here to show you trend catcher here. That's this red and green line. It can really help you identify trends and, good retracement points for entries, etc. But looking at it here, you can notice we have, pretty solid straight green line. So noticing that this is definitely a consolidated period. We could wait for, a nice break of that green to flip red, and then a retracement, something like here, for, a potential trade setup. But obviously you want extra levels of confidence. So checking which, with the oscillator, if it's, worth a trade or not. Honestly, I would probably want to trade that because it was already bearish on the oscillator. Now, it was coming from a bull side, so it could be a higher risk play. But for now, it's actually interesting. We're playing out a actual divergence here. You can see a bullish divergence occurring with a reversal signal, and we just got a signal here. So what I would be doing right now is waiting for a retracement for entry on Bitcoin. I'm going to remove my drawings, and then I would look for, why is nothing, there we go. There's too many things to use for drawing wise. Where's my path? I need to get yours set up like you have it, where it's like at the bottom. It's just haven't done that yet, but literally. Well, I would like to see, that's what this trend catcher is for. Let's see if that trend changes and then flips green. If that, if this catcher flips green, then I might want to see where we're heading from that, from that retracement here, because we're already showing, let's see, we potentially have a structure change coming up. We had that break of structure. We talked about this last stream. I like to see, before a proper change of character, a break of structure on the opposite side. So we have a break of structure. Oh, this is the 5-minute chart, by the way. Break of structure on Bitcoin here. I would like to see if we get, a retracement, and then we get that change of character at some point. Then it might be worth that trade. So based on the market structure here, definitely worth keeping an eye on. But with the price action concepts, had a nice order block from this downtrend, mid-afternoon Thursday. Had a very high volume order block here, 26%, one of the higher ones. We went up, tried to test that, had a perfect reaction off of it. So seeing that reaction, turning point. The other cool part is there was flow on either side. So there wasn't really much money flow happening at that level. It was earlier this morning, but rejection and then lower high, and then now we have that little leg down there. So if we take it, let's take it back a time frame. Go to 15-minute here, and I mean there's another, what I was saying before, looking for that break of structure before trading. The opposite. So got the change character here, a little bit of a retracement, and then we got a nice dump for a bounce off 25K. That's pretty good. I was looking at gold as well, as you love gold. Wanted to see if let's see. Okay, cool. We got more people joining in on the Discord as well. So yeah, we're just gonna touch on some charts and then go through what we see. I haven't looked at any of these charts today, so this is me blindly looking at it with my settings on LuxAlgo. And I like to pair the signals and overlays, price action concepts, and the oscillator, and I like to see it all at first. And then I'm like, okay, which asset am I looking at? So with gold, it's very easy to use just price action concepts because of the volatility in which gold has. Very highly traded asset. So 15-minute here, look at our reaction to already these order blocks that occurred on Wednesday. Had a nice move on Wednesday, and now we're bouncing right back off of those. So I will say though, like, we get this first reaction here, but notice this oscillator. The oscillator is still above that oversold territory. I would want to see a little bit more of an extended area or extension on the oscillator before considering a trade here. You see it's already retracing again. So if we do get a setup down here, could be worth the trade. But there you go, get change character, break a structure, change a character. Guess what happened? We had another leg down. So that's one of my favorite setups recently, is that Chach, break a structure, and then you even had Chach on the swing structure. But now I change a character again, but after that break a structure. So I'd like to see where we've broken this swing low. So will we hold support off these previous order blocks, or will we continue lower? It's seeming as if there is a potential divergence if we go lower, but let's look at the 5-minute. But I will say right now, there's people in Discord asking gold to short. It is a lot better opportunity on the short side, I think, than it is the long side. But let's see, because this setup as of now looks like it could have some type of lower low, and then guess what? You get that divergence on the oscillator. So we'll see that divergence print like we talked about. But look at the money flow on the oscillator. It's still increasing. So it's like the sell side is much stronger here than the upside. So we'll probably get that leg down, especially after this pump we had here in a second. But we'll see if it respects this order block again. If it does, then we might get a nice little movement here and continue in the opposite direction again. So we'll see. That's the nice part about gold, is it does set up and it does like to find that support and rebound, and then reject and rebound and reject. Very, very common ranging asset is gold, so it's very fun to trade price action on gold. Let's see. Would you be able to show how you would use the indicators for 5-minute QQQ? I use QQQ for reference to trade the inverse triple leverage ETFs. Yes, so QQQ, I enjoy QQQ as well. I like to trade futures though, so I would trade the Nasdaq or the ES. But great example to look at QQQ, especially if you trade inverse, depending on what you're trading. I'm assuming it's shares, but again, here you go, same type of situation. Where for one, I like to look at first, okay, where's that money flow? The money flow peaked, but it's still bullish. So we have bullish money flow, and the oscillator is on the downside, right? So oscillator's on the downside with that bullish money flow still. It hasn't flipped red. So I would still be a little bullish on this. I'm not. Everything needs to align together. So even though we have, it changing character on the bear side, it fully has not broken, this kind of support. Yeah, sure. It broke, that swing there, that swing point, it broke it, but it didn't fully, just collapse when it hit that. It's starting to pretend to bounce. So will it bounce here is kind of the question. Now you did fall into, a little bit of demand from a previous supply. So if we were to pull up, there you go, order blocks there. It's showing that bounce off an order block. But let's look at our premium and discount zones and see what they're telling us. And there you go. So it's in a discount zone right now. Oop, I'm sorry, wrong one. Let me take off the order block so you can see the premium and discount. So we're in a discount zone right now, right? So seeing this discount that we're in, this is a potential buying opportunity as so long as that support holds. I would now want to see this oscillator has this turning point. It sets up. I want to see on the Qs if the money flow wants to stay bullish and probably get up closer to equilibrium before considering any entry, because we are currently setting lower highs, right? So we need a reversal, so another change of character on the bullish side to get that possible retracement or retest back at the highs. So for the Qs right now on the 5 minute, definitely let's look at the 15 minute. Definitely broke the downtrend. In the 15 minute, look, we are in a premium area. So looking at a higher time frame, this is its first. I mean, we set a high here, right? So we're still ranging. We haven't set that lower high yet. So looking at the 15 minute, going back to the 5, maybe we get, we're going to have to just bear with me as I get my paths back. Maybe we'll get a retracement to head lower later, right? Because like the higher time frame, which is not much higher, it's only 10 minutes higher, we're showing that we're in a premium zone. So it's slowly coming off these highs. So we could get that retracement back to the equilibrium. But if you're on the 5 minute, you could have, depending on how you trade, it could be a scalp, 1 hour here, Qs, again, it's in a premium zone. Premium is anything above, the equilibrium, and then discounts anything below the equilibrium. So you could consider this whole range here, the discount, this whole range here at premium. So being, in the middle of premium, let's see, like 4 hour, we're still up there. It's just, yeah, I would say for intraday though, go, maybe not as high as 30 minutes, maybe an hour for intraday trading. But overall, like I said, I think you could see a small retracement if it wants to hold that support / order block. You have the oscillator that needs to probably reset again before it heads lower. I was gonna see questions. Look at BidU. Looking at the questions in the Discord, guys. Those of you on YouTube, if you want specific question answered, join the Discord. LuxAlgo. Discord.gg/Lux. Join that. You do get a higher quality stream as well in there. The Discord's open to the Discord is open to everybody, and this stage is also open to everybody right now. So we have BidU. Question. I know somebody said, oh yeah, he was pinging you, Mickey, and we'll pass over to Mickey here after I go over bid you or bid you, however you say it. And then Mickey, you can take over, do a little spiel, and then I'll come back. We'll just bounce back and forth for sure. Okay, he was saying it's been volatile today. What indicator would you find? What indicator would you use to find an entry? So obviously I go through what I do essentially at first is I go ahead and have all the defaults on each indicator. So let me go ahead and just switch the order blocks back on. and I like to look at what it's telling me at first, right? Let me get the smart trail back on. So for like Baidu today, if you're a day trader, first thing I like to look for is all the defaults, and obviously this is a stock. So we're gonna have these gaps, these opening gaps, and Baidu is a Chinese company. I used to trade this all the time. I think they do some type of internet software or something. They might do, I can't remember exactly what they do, but they're going to be driven by any news about China, whatever it is. So there's probably some type of news that has driven this today. But essentially, first looking at it like this is, the nice part is we're flipping out of a downtrend that we had. We got that bullish signal at closer to close yesterday. Nice strong bullish signal, and then going into today, let's see, this was after hours a little bit. I don't have my extended hours up here. I'll pull the extended hours. So going into today, we're already in a bullish start, right? I'm gonna just do regular because I like the calculation of regular better. So depending on what you trade, obviously, if you like looking at extended hours, you're gonna get a little bit different calculation because it's extra data. So obviously, the more data you have, the better off your calculation is going to be. So like this optimal sensitivity is 11 on this. We had a very choppy day yesterday. So going into today, we have a bullish, a strong bullish candle into today. But we're sitting very, very high on the oscillator on the overbought territory. So considering this, I probably wouldn't take it on the oscillator side. But if we, were to pull up just the price action concepts, or the let me see here, breaker blocks, and then what I like to do is I like to go through some normal settings that I find helpful. If the biggest thing about this asset is going to be that news and understanding that news, but if you were to trade, if you wanted to trade this morning, you need to look at that initial push, right? So noticing on the just the overall signals and overlays, I mean, we have nothing but strong green volume. So if you were to take an entry on this, you probably would have wanted to see if you got a retracement to like the smart trail. You can use the trend catcher as well for retracements for entries. Like there you go, you could have especially on these volatile ones that gain that volume, you could have hit that. But what's interesting to me though is look at this with this is extended trading hours. We had extremely large bearish flow in the morning. This is bearish money flow. So we're seeing extremely large bearish money flow in the pre-market section. So even though this is oversold, it's not a terrible idea to wait and see how it reacts in the morning. So with the pre-market data, that's the only thing that's a little bit iffy, is because if you don't pay for it on TradingView, you're gonna get a different calculation. That's why we always recommend, if you're trading assets, if you're trading stocks, to always not use the pre-market data, unless you want to gather your levels like on Tesla. It really depends. So like Tesla, its pre-market data is clean cut. So like a stock like, this is a good thing to go over actually. A stock like this that gets volume every once in a while is not necessarily something that you want to worry about that pre-market data. So understanding, and this goes back to just understanding the asset in which you're trading, you're going to want to determine whether the pre-market data is worth it or not. So this is obviously a stock, so trading this, I probably wouldn't trade it with the pre-market data. But on Tesla or on Apple, the pre-market data is important. So because it gives you pretty clear levels to trade by. So, and it's always going to be very, very different with that pre-market data. So that's why we always say, especially for just the stocks in general, you probably want to just trade with no pre-market data for, depending on your setup. But again, that's why I personally like to trade, futures and stuff, because you can use futures to help you with certain entries on, you know, stocks as well if you wanted to. So it really comes down to what you're looking for in a like in, you know, whatever what do you call it? Not industry, but like if I want to trade like Chinese stocks, I need to know what's happening with China. So Baidu is just one of those. Like, but I would recommend, if you want to be profitable, you want to probably stick to the main indicators, like, or sorry, the main assets, like the QQQs if you're in the US, and the SQQs like that we were just going over, or, you know, E-mini futures, or Nasdaq futures, or gold, or, you know, Euro USD. All the main ones is going to be a lot more easily, or it's going to be a lot easier to find profitable trading strategies using those. So that's the only thing about trading, you know, just stocks in general, is that it's, you know, it can differ based on what's driving that stock, right? So you can trade like Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, like those are gonna be a little bit easier to be consistent with, but things like the Baidu there that we just went over is like, you never know. Like one day they could have major news in China or whatever it is, and it would just pump the crap out of the stock. So it's like, when you do that, the biggest thing I recommend is like using like the signals and overlays. So what is this? What are these candles telling me? Well, you know, we have solid, strong, bullish volume today. So if I know that with these China stocks, if it's going to move off, you know, anytime we get strong, bullish volume, then I'm going to use the color candle feature to tell me when it's time to exit this. So bullish, you know, open like this, stays solid green all the way through, I exit, you know, when that, you know, price action changes, which would be, you know, right here. So, you know, this morning probably, let's see, we got 3%. So probably 2% move there. So yeah, it just depends on the market you're trading. So make sure whatever market you're trading, you understand how it's traded, and then you use the features in which you're gonna it's best for that asset. So like with gold, the price action concepts is a fantastic one to use. But I'm gonna let Mickey take over now, and we're gonna continue on. He's gonna look at his charts and what he has set up. So Mickey, let's I'll end my stream over here, and we'll have you pop up and go over some fun charts. You are popped out. Let me transfer you over on here, and you're good to go, man.
Yeah, why don't we? Right? No harm, no foul. If you have the stomach for this, absolutely. Look at this. I'm just scrolling back. Okay. Now let's find out how to use the Neo Cloud, because these pullbacks are kind of steep, right? Depending on your account, if you're an advanced trader, intermediate, or you're just a beginner, it can be a little stomach ache, right? All right. Here's how I view the Neo Cloud. Stair steps. Okay. Stair steps. I'm going to coin my phrase right here. All right. Let's take a look at this area right here. All right. Where's my path? Neo Cloud. You see the stair steps? All right. Stair steps. Stair steps. We're on a downtrend. It's kind of like market structure, right? So if you could read the Neo Cloud like market structure, it's not market structure, but if you can visualize it like market structure, hey, this may be a feature that could help out your strategy and charts, right? Take a look at this, right? Market structure. All right. Here comes the steps. It's breaking these highs and lows, right? So in this area, we need to be cautious. Right there, right? You pair this up with the money flow. Look at the matrix confluence. It gave you a warning right here, right? They're printed. There's your warning. Heads up, right? We did beautiful in this run, right? Flat Neo Cloud. Watch it. You can hold, but watch it, right? Money flow, threshold, okay? There's your confluence. It's giving you a little warning, okay? Now you're being heads up. Now you're going to be aware. Now you have reversal alerts. One right there. There's a triangle right there, right? Now, what do we have? Neo Cloud stair stepping up. You got to get out of town. You got to close this, get out of Dodge, right? That's the way I view Neo Cloud. It's something unique. It's a different perspective in using the Neo Cloud. And hopefully, a few more traders find this helpful in the Discord room. Be happy to help everyone in the Discord room as usual. I'm there every day. And it's pretty neat. I mean, if you could declutter your chart, all right? I mean, Trend Tracer, Trend Catcher, Smart Trail, they're all awesome features, right? But do we want to enable all those features at once, right? It'll look like a spaghetti bowl, right? Pick a feature. Pick a feature that fits you visually, right? If it doesn't fit you visually, it's not going to work. So find something that visually fits you, right? The Neo Cloud fits me. Back in the day, 1 to 2 years ago, it was always the Neo Cloud for me, right? And this is the way I view the Neo Cloud stair step. Okay? Now take a look where we have here, right? Flat Neo Cloud. All right? Flat. We're arranging. You could view this as the trend tracer and catcher. When it's flat, you remember what we've said before and early today? If it's flat, it's ranging. Same thing with Neo Cloud. It's flat. But guess what? It's still blue. We can hold on. You can take partials. You can close out. But depending on your strategy, you can hold on until you see the next Neo Cloud stair step down. But if you held on, now we're starting to see LuxAlgo candle coloring bullish, starting to print with candle patterns to the upside. Neo Cloud stair stepping up. All right, stair stepping up. Right, stair stepping up along with matrix. Matrix turning point up. Money flow bullish. We have a strong confluence of the matrix. The bearish matrix confluence disappeared. Guess what? If I held through this nonsense, I'm gonna reward myself. I gotta go for broke. I'm holding on because I see all the clues here, right? I see all the clues. I'm taking this another leg up. Okay, where's your exit, Mickey? I'm done. I've held all the way down here. I can't take this on anymore. I just want to go home and just get some dinner with my money. Cool, right? Here's your possible exits. Reversal, matrix, right? Flat neo cloud again. Doji. Confirmation exit. You could exit here. All right, but what if you held? What if your strategy is swing trade? I want to hold a trade for a few days, few weeks. Sure. Neo cloud. If you could see slightly, let me enlarge this. You see this? If you could see this slightly, look at that small stair stepping up. You see that right there? That could be a clue to hold on, right? Let's move it forward a little bit. Now we get a larger stair step up, right? You're holding. Okay, so this is the Neo Cloud. It's a unique twist on how I use it, and hopefully it brings value to the VIP group. Okay, if there's any questions on YouTube or Discord regarding the Neo Cloud and the stair steps, I kind of like coining these phrases, right? Stair steps and two paths on the order blocks, right? Any questions so far? YouTube, can you talk about BTC crypto? Yes, I'll go through that. Let me head over to Discord. Let's see what we have over there. Don't want to miss anyone. Okay, Euro USD. Yeah, I'll go over that. Okay. Let me flip it over to Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at the stair steps. All right. Look at this. Where was the big pump? Big pump was over here, right? So let's just say you were late to the game. You're in here somewhere. How do I get out? Where do I get out? You know, I'm gonna cash out. I made my scalp. Well, here's your stair step, right? There is your stair step, right? Here's your matrix, turning point down. Turning point down, we have matrix confluence zone, weaker, weak, all right? It's getting weaker. Let me move this here so it can be, there you go, see the transition? Bright green to darker green, weak. Neo cloud stair stepping down, flat line. You may want to close out your long positions, right? Wishful thinking for Bitcoin going back to 68, right? But it is what it is. Take a look at the stair steps on Bitcoin. All right, there we go. All right. That's a pretty good stair step. Flat line. Okay. Another stair step. If you held through all this time on Bitcoin, if you're bag holding the shorts, look at that, still flat. Can you see the slight, ever so slight stair step? See that? There is another clue. I bet you no one actually looked into this really deep, right? That this is me. I look at pixel per pixel. I'm really looking at the details, right? There's your stair step. We have another stair step. Flatline a little bit. Price. touches NeoCloud, you can play this like the smart trail or a moving average or an order block. You can use the NeoCloud as a point of interest, such as an order block as well. Just view it as the same way. Take a look at all these touches, all right? Stair step, okay? Flat line again. Now take a look at this. We've been concentrating on the bottom, right? Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Right? If you look closely at your chart, meaning if you declutter your chart, you can be focused on that one indicator, that feature that's important to you. Right? But guess what? We have that news, right? There was a news drop here. So that kind of threw that out the window, right? News is news. Nothing we can do about it. But after the news, it got settled down, right? Maybe you entered somewhere in here. You saw stair steps, or maybe you held, right? This big pump right here that everyone's raving about, in the big scheme of things, it's really nothing in Bitcoin, right? I mean, if you look back, it's really nothing, right? Let's just say you held. Here's your stair steps again, right? Stepping down, cool. I'm holding. I got my stair steps down, right? Keeps on going down. Look at the steps, right? Money flow matrix, beautiful, right? Stair step, flat line, right? Created a new low, flat line. This could be an area to say, yeah, this is Bitcoin. Let me cash out. I don't want to suffer another pump. Good choice, right? But if you held, take a look at this. Ever so slightly. This is not a level line. Look at that angle. See my cursor crosshairs and the line? Look at that. All right, there's an angle there. Take a look at that. All right, that's a clue. It angled down bearish. Meanwhile, price is trying. It is trying. Right? So we have a tie game right now. Angle down on the NeoCloud. Flatline NeoCloud on the bottom extremity. Price is trying to make higher highs. Right? But if you read your candle patterns, along with matrix, money flow, and the turning points, it's not time to enter long yet, because I don't see stair steps going up, right? Take a look at this. We have another push down. What was this, early today? Another push down, stair step. Matrix, turning point. This is all on default, the matrix. I didn't tweak it. You know, I didn't tweak it to make the chart pretty. This is all default, right? Notice this. We have little blips of bullish confluence, right? They're trying, but take a look at this. Bearish confluence all the way. It did not hiccup along the way. It showed some sort of red, right? This could have been your signal to look for a short somewhere in here. All right, bullish confluence zone disappears. Right, we have candlestick patterns, LuxAlgo candle coloring, stair stepping down on the NeoCloud. All right, guess where it tags? It tags discount zone that was previously formed somewhere in there. All right, the discount zone was actually here, and once it tagged it again, it pushed the discount to a new level, right? this could be a good place to get out if you took this short somewhere over here, right? This is a good place to get out of town because we have all this here going on here, right? Matrix, turning point up, right? Pretty cool, huh? The Neo Cloud. Who would have thought, right? Last week or the previous streams, we got two paths, right? And now we got the Neo Cloud and the stair steps, right? All this stuff, and you know, I don't keep it to myself. You know, I share it in the rooms, in the VIP Discord rooms, LuxAlgo, you know. So, any questions in YouTube land or Discord? Let's head over to, let's briefly go over the euro. All right. Jeez, what is that on the 4 hour? Anyway, take a look at this. Let's dig into this a little bit more. Right? And we're not cherry picking charts. It is today, right? This is today. Boom. All right. This is today. Let's go back. Give you some good examples. It doesn't matter which Neo Cloud we pick. It's the same story all the time, right? Let's go here. We have Neo Cloud stair stepping up, right? Stair stepping up. But guess what? We have a clue. Boom, boom. There you go. All this time, we have stair steps going up, right? This is your first clue on the euro that you need to be careful. Once it pierces into the Neo Cloud, like over here, you have to say enough's enough. You need to be on alert, right? You could hold if you're swing trading. Look at the matrix money, right? Money flow. You could hold, okay? Stair step up, take a little breather. Guess what? Now it's coming right back down. If you held on through here and you held on through here, you better close it down over here, right? You dodged the bullet here and you dodged another bullet here by entering here. But this is safe. This is safe because you entered, where's the signal? You entered right here. Here's the signal to say, guess what? Let's watch our charts, all right? There's a level. There's a level, all right? What is that? Double bottom. There's another level, right? Turn on your price action concepts. These are change of characters. Break of support, right? You can manually draw these yourself if you want. Micros, look at this. Micros, if you wanted, right? Where do we go here with the template? I have this all set up, you know, if you wanted. Right? All these microstructures, right? You took the trade somewhere in that area. This is where you had to get out. Money flow printed, right? The bullish confluence zone disappeared. We have the money flows, bearish. Meanwhile, we have the turning point going up. Doesn't have the strength to change this. Now it's going back down. Get out of town, right? This is where you need to get out of town. Once you see the red candle, LuxAlgo, confirmation coloring simple candles, get out of town, right? If you use the candle coloring as your backbone, that better be a clue, right? I bought on the green, get out of town on the red, right? Short on the red, get out of town, close it down on the purple, safe, break even, right? Same thing with here. Okay. Any other questions on the euro, on how I view the Neo Cloud and the stair steps? All right.
Looking good, looking good.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. What do we have? Stair step going up. Confirmation, bullish entry. Be careful. You know, be careful. This one, you got to close out. I mean, if you held on, you have to close out. Be smart about it, right? Because the price action is tagging. It's pushing the discount level. It was created. Actually, it's created here, here, and here. And then when this printed, it's not touching the discount zone. Now it's going up. Take a look at market structure, right? Higher lows. Get out of town. And then who knows what happened. I wasn't watching Euro. Whatever the news dropped, don't know what that is, okay? Got to be news, right? It could be, who knows. Long weekend, I'm cashing out, right? Any other questions? I'll head over to the price action concepts a little bit. Are we good on time? 9:10. We're good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
All right. Hopefully, I was excited for this live. You know, over the weekend, you know, I was looking at the stair steps. Didn't really give the room some clues yet. You know, wanted to wait for the second live this week, but I couldn't. I spilled the beans yesterday, right? A little bit. I spilled the beans, but this is so cool. I'm giddy. You know, hopefully you guys find this useful. All right. Before we close it down, let's take a look at price action concepts here. Okay. This is a 4-hour decluttered price action concepts SMC chart with order blocks and breaker blocks displayed. Okay. I'm actually hiding the overlaps just to make it clean for you, okay? In this example, all right, okay. I have the dollar here. I could use the ES futures as an example, and the Bitcoin, all right. Here's the Bitcoin 4-hour, okay. Let's take a look at the dollar, okay, since that affects most of the markets. Doesn't matter what you trade, okay. Now, there's some questions about me overlaying the 4-hour order blocks onto my lower time frame. Here's my 15-minute. These order blocks are the 15-minute order blocks, right? There's some confusion and whatnot, and that I felt that it took away from the concept that I was trying to convey and teach you. Okay. If you want to know more about how I overlay and how to set my template, I have the actual template link for anyone that's in the VIP Discord to install and save on their trading view. Okay, but for today, I'm going to make this simple for us. All right, let's go down to the 4-hour. Now, to dummy up a simple concept, right? I want to trade. I want to look for a trade that's not inside a 4-hour order block. Okay, why 4-hour order block? What about any other time frame? Yeah, you can pick any other time frame and use that similar concept. But for me and my risk tolerance, 4 hours seems to be a happy balance for me, because visually the 4-hour levels are pretty good. I mean, look at this, right? Came back down, boom, it hit it. Right? Where did it hit? It hit this order block that was formed many years ago, right? It squeezed it down. Who knows when it's formed? Way back when. Well, how did you get that order block? It's not on my chart. I show more than 5, okay? I had that all in details in the Pro Strategies room. I show more than 5 because it's important. Why is it important, Mickey? Because of this. This was important. Price was going up. There was nothing up here, right? But I showed more order blocks, and guess what? There's a key level, right? Now let's go back to an order block and what to look for, okay? Let's just say this broke down. I took a trade, a scalp, okay? Let's say I want to take a long here, right? Let's draw, this is the traditional way, right? Let's draw this. All right, let's draw that. This will be my order block on a lower time frame. Hopefully this global setting works, right? Here's the global settings. All right, better work. Trading view is kind of glitchy, right? I want to trade the retest. For now, let's just concentrate on retest. Mickey, can we trade just the break? You could do that too with trade management. Absolutely. There's no right or wrong answer. Let's just say we want to do the retest. Okay. 4 hour. Up, down, boom. That's the path. Remember the path in previous live streams? There's the path. Okay. There is the path. All right. And what is the bearish path? Here is my bearish path. When price is inside this order block, let's just say price is here. It already formed the order block, right? So I want to see that. Right? I was waiting. We were waiting. Comes back up for the retest. It never happened. It never got rejected on a ceiling, right? But it actually pierced through. Now it's being rejected by a floor, right? Support the floor, okay? Now let's go to a lower time frame. Okay, this is a 4 hour. Let's head down to the 15. Here's your 15, all right? There's your 15. This is the 4 hour order block. I have this on global, right? So when I make a drawing on any other charting time frame on the same symbol, it will emulate that same drawing. Okay, here's the 4 hour. You remember the path? It pierced down. Didn't happen, right? But what did happen? Pierced up. Okay. Where is that color? Let me draw another path here. Boom, 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 boom. I see that. That's no good. Get rid of that. Okay. There's that path, right? I am looking for a long. Right? I am looking for a long somewhere in here because that's when it crossed on the 4 hour. All right. Let's zoom in and make this clear. Okay. There's the path. What are the clues to get in? Right? What are the clues? Right. Change of character. Okay. Formed. Mickey, can I get in there? Get in on the... Yeah. Hey, yeah. I mean, you could. That is a concept. A lot of people love to trade the breaks. Right? There's no right or wrong answer because I like to trade the retest. All right, but sometimes it doesn't retest. It just screams higher. And guess what? I sat on my hands, but you got in. All right, so you're the winner. I'm not a loser because I'm following my particular rules. I'm waiting for specific setup. All right. So, change of character. All right, I want to see break a structure just like this. Right. Depending on your SMC and your price action market structure strategy, there's many ways you can trade this to the upside. Okay, you have your 4 hour order block right here, the blue line. Right, you have regular candlesticks forming to the upside. Okay, change a character, break a structure, another break a structure. Right? There's a change of character. The move ended right here, somewhere here, right? Because it retested this breaker block. Okay. Hopefully, this is a little bit clearer on how I trade the 4-hour order block on a lower time frame. I did not want to confuse you on the overlays of, price action concepts, how many instances I have on the chart. That will be in the VIP Discord. I spell it out in detail with a saved template. But here, if you do it the traditional manual way, if I trace the 4-hour order block on the 4-hour chart, and if I select global, it'll automatically transfer. Okay, it'll automatically transfer that 4-hour order block drawing to a lower time frame, and now I can concentrate. I know a lot of people can trade these two charts, right? But you know what? I only have so much real estate on my screen, right? So I'll just enlarge this chart with my 4-hour order block right there, right? If this is still confusing, guess what? You could do this. You could do that. A little bit better, right? There's my 4-hour order block. All right. Any other questions in YouTube?
I think someone, one of the VIP members, had a question about the Neo Cloud. Is saying, is it better to use that with Heikin-Ashi or regular candles?
Heikin-Ashi has its purpose, right? Yeah. I mean, I love Heikin-Ashi, myself. I used to trade in the past. With the Heikin-Ashi, you are not going to get your precise entries and precise exits, because I was only going for a small piece of the action. I wanted a small 10 pips inside a 50, 100 pip move. I did not care where was pip 1.
Gotcha.
I did not care was pip 100. I just wanted a small piece inside 10, right? But these indicators, such as Neo or any other indicators, were actually optimized for regular candlesticks. It's kind of it's common sense that all the developers are optimizing it for the regular candlesticks, because the regular candlesticks shows us pure, true price action. Right? There's no right or wrong way.
Yes.
But to get the most out of Neo Cloud, I would suggest regular traditional candlesticks because of the stair steps. If you're going to use the stair steps, the Heikin-Ashi is going to slap you to the left and to the right, up and down, right? It's going to slap you, because I guarantee your stomach won't suffer through a bullish Neo Cloud for 4 days, and then when it flips, you're going to look at your bank account and say, all this for break even? Yeah, all that for break even, because you used Heikin-Ashi. You wanted the bottom, you wanted the top. But if you use regular candlesticks with the Neo Cloud stair steps, guess what? You got a good piece of chunk.
Yes.
At this move, right? We can go back. I haven't even talked about gold on Neo Cloud. I don't think, right? Look at that. There you go. Let's just say you blindly took that and you closed out on that. You're safe, right? You're safe. In the big scheme of things, trading is risky, right? In the big scheme of things, you lost a little bit, right? But if this wasn't Heikin-Ashi bar, your close is somewhere up here. Your close is somewhere up there. You're giving back at a lot. If you're going for the nice moves, the precise moves, you got to use regular candlesticks with LuxAlgo. Take a look at the stair steps. Look at this flat line. It stopped right there. All right, it stopped right there. Move your eyeballs down. Move your eyeballs down. All right. If I'm so concentrated on the Neo Cloud, and I totally forgot this. Hey, I'm guilty too. When I'm concentrating on something, sometimes I forget about other stuff, right? But if you're concentrating on the Neo Cloud and you had this whippy action and it's flatlined, there is no stair step for a while. This is 4 hours. I mean, no stair step for 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of hours here, right? What is this, 3 days or 4? But this should have gave you a clue, right? Divergence.
Oh yeah.
Close it down, right? If you still bag holding, close it down right there, right? If you're still bag holding, close it down over there, and over there. And if you held a short beyond this confirmation bullish signal entry strong, then you know what? Buyers beware. That's on you, right? But hopefully this helps. Any other questions before we shut it down and Jacob closes this, say the goodbyes?
Yeah, I got something that'd be fun here. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to pass the screen share.
Yeah. We pass the football.
We roll out.
How do you pass the football here?
Smoke, like you said, Renko bars. I mean, all these indicators are developed around actual candlesticks. So, if you can find, a way it works, then good for you. But I promise you, you're gonna get way better results using regular candlesticks because that's what they were made for. But we're gonna call this, where is it going? All right. So this is I think like a full week and a half. So I'm literally just gonna pick a random day on gold here. Let's do, I don't know, the 23rd of Wednesday, and then we're gonna bring it down, and then we're gonna see what happens. So then that way you get a little live feeling. All right. So what do we notice so far? We had a nice push here to the upside. We had my favorite setup, right? And hold on, let me just bring my chart on here. There we go. We had my favorite setup, which is a bullish, a nice strong bullish signal, bounce off the smart trail, and we had a move up. So right now we're still in a bullish smart trail, right? I'm noticing a 32% order block. Again, this is just a random day we picked, right? I'm just saying what I'm seeing before I make a decision if I want to short or long. Right now, I don't want to do either. All right, so we have a bearish signal, bearish change character. So I'm still, still bullish on the oscillator. We're still above this bullish smart trail here. So let's step forward and see where we end up and see if we break that smart trail. Okay, we do. So we're still heading lower. Again, we have that consolidation. I'm not trading. It's, still later in the day. We're flipping as well on the oscillator. But again, we already showed a bearish move on this, and the oscillator's already down by 30%. So I'm not technically short yet because for some reason, I don't know why, but the oscillator had a massive turning point at around 8 here in the extremely oversold range, and we have a reversal signal. So I'm not this isn't a trade I would take to the short side yet because we've already touched down here. Now, if we got a signal somewhere up here, which we did here, but if it broke that smart trail somewhere up here and we didn't have this high volume order block, then I'd probably consider going short. But for now, we're still consolidating. So let's see here if we get, it's a 30% order block. Let's see if we get a reaction or not. It probably will break it. Yeah, there it goes. Didn't break it yet. Let's see. Okay, all right. Now look, we got another reversal signal and we got divergence. We have a huge increase of money flow on the downside there. Let's see what happens here. Okay, wow. All right. We get a bounce now off that 30% order block. So what are you guys doing? You want to go long here, short here? I mean, I think we don't do anything yet. So I think right now we're still sitting on our hands. We're waiting for that setup. So we have divergence. Obviously, we see that. We got 2 reversal signals. So right now, I'm thinking, maybe there's a potential of this trend continuing. But I need that smart trail to be broken. So let's see if the smart trail breaks. I mean, that was a pretty strong candle there. Let's see if it breaks. It does break right there. Notice, boom, smart trail breaks. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking a lot better now. So bounce off a high volume order block. We have divergence. That's another one. We have 2 reversal signals. That's another one. So I'm bullish. We just flipped to the bullish side above that 50 level. We're sitting, right around in the 60s. Let's see if we get another bullish signal here. See if the candles flip too. If they flip like a strong green symbol. Okay, we're getting a retracement, so I'm still sitting on my hands. See if we can get an entry somewhere around here. All right, here we go. We're seeing some bullish flow, bullish volume, strong bullish volume. Okay, it printed a change of character. Now we have an order block. Okay, so let's look at this. I think I'm going to take an entry here. Let's see why I might take an entry here. We're going to do a 2-to-1 and see if it plays out or not. So I'm going to take an entry for one. I've talked about this before. With the price action concepts, let's go over this first. Price action concepts, we have a break of structure, right? Come down 45% order block now. Massive order block bounce here. We have in price action what I like to call a no wick retest. This never retested that, pivot. So we're having in an order block, high volume order block. Money flow is decreasing. We're setting up, got a bullish change of character after a bearish break of structure, okay? So when we get this bullish change of character after that bearish break of structure, we have divergence. We have 2 reversal signals. We have a turning point. It's still sitting right above the 50 level. It's not extended yet. I think this goes higher. Let's see if it does. We might as well just do this. Let's do this here. Let's do a 2-to-1. Put stop under that order block that just printed. So somewhere right there. We go 2-to-1 on this. Let's pray this plays out for my sake. Just kidding. This
nice.
is all
paper trade, everyone. Always paper trade.
So this is a good way to practice too. Everything is lining up, right? You get decrease in the money flow. Money flow is trying to flip. You have, these 2 reversal signals. You're bouncing off the order block. You got a bullish change of character. You got another bullish order block. Why wouldn't I want to go to the upside? Well, oh yeah, sorry. We have a bullish signal. We have strong bullish candles here that are colored like bright green. So why wouldn't I take this trade when every one of those things is lining up for me? So let's see what happens here. Let's pray that we don't get stopped out. So we're, okay. All right, come on. Come on, baby. Give me some. We're almost to that 2-to-1 point. Oh. We hit that order block. So, if you want to trim, you have a signal.
Out.
What'd you say? You say you're out?
I'm out.
I'm going for the 2-to-1. I'm going for the 2-to-1. I'm going 2-to-1. But let's see here. We have here's an exit signal. That's a good trimming point, right? Let's see if you calling your out was a good sign or not. Oh man. Oh no.
Hold true. Stay
strong.
No. No,
Let's
look at
see
money
here.
flow.
Hold on. Money flow's back green. Strong money flow here. Let me hide this real quick. Notice something. I'm gonna hide it. If I can. I don't remember how to bring that. All right, I can bring it back over here. Notice something. We have the smart trail here. Let's see if it bounces off that smart trail. We're trying to get a signal, but wow. Holy crap, what a bounce. Let's bring it back. Let me just bring that back up. It was sitting here. We have that 2-to-1. I'm going for the 2-to-1, man. We have that 2-to-1. Let's see if it plays out. If we get a continuation, maybe break that order block. It held that smart trail. Wow, there we go. Beautiful. So we hit that 2-to-1 just off of all of that, right? So I noticed everything was lining up. This is what I was trying to say. We looked at this. It was a completely random setup that we picked. We were going through each step that we noticed. We had that change of character. We had the divergence. And this was at a high, right? So this was at a high. Why would we take a long at a high? Well, we noticed the oscillator, and we noticed the price action concepts, and we noticed the signals and overlays were all telling us to take this trade because they were all lining up together. We were in a bullish signal. We had the bullish change of character after a previous break of structure. Bounce off a high volume order block. Oscillator was sitting somewhere around 50, 60%, which is great. Strong bullish candles. Now, another thing is, if let's say we trimmed twice, right? We trimmed here, and let's say we hit our 2-to-1, we trim again. Now what I do is I'll hold until the candle turns, red or something. So let's see how much. Wow, this is running a lot more than I thought it would. Okay, there you go. So let's see if that gave us, any more. It probably wasn't. No. So that 2-to-1 was a perfect lineup. Now, if you want to hold through, the smart trail, we'll see how long it lasts above that smart trail. And it does continue. Dang, man, this thing ran off a high. There we go. So we have that break. It's the same level. So that 2-to-1 was actually perfect on that. So that's just a way to identify everything lining up at the same time. And then, waiting for that to happen to take the trade. So making sure you understand that, you know, you don't need to take a trade if something is going against you. So yeah, just keep an eye out on, you know, setups like that where it's somewhat, why would there be, you know, bearish, like why would the oscillator be decreasing so much at this high? And so seeing that was a first big trigger to, okay, this thing might not be done, right? Because the oscillator had enough time to kind of settle back, and then we flipped right back into another bullish uptrend. So hopefully that was fun. The smokestack, get out. So yeah, that was a pretty good example there. We'll do this again the next time. We've been streaming for about an hour and 16 minutes. We appreciate you guys being in this, but that was fun. We'll maybe have Mickey. We'll have Mickey do that too next time and see how he would go about it. But yeah, guys, those of you on YouTube, again, make sure to check out our website at LuxAlgo.com. Right now, you can get 30 days risk-free as well as 30% off using code LUX30. I'm going to show you something that I always show everybody and I would really recommend doing once I go to the website. And those of you that have been on the stream, you know probably what I'm about to talk about. Oh, that's our other stream in there. Let me see here. Probably have to pull that up actually. Give me 1 second. Bam. All right. Yeah. So those of you in the Discord, of course, yeah, go check out. If you're one of the free members in here, you see our VIPs talking. You do get access to the VIP once you do sign up. It's not anything separate. It's all in one. When you do sign up, you can get that 30 days risk free. We'd love to have you in there. We have our boy Mickey always in there chatting with the group. I'm in there every once in a while, but we do have a pro strategies category as well in there that goes over a lot of in-depth strategies that the community shares, and Mickey and some of our developers and other members of the chat. But again, what I was talking about on the website was go to the resources tab, hit that guide section. This is going to give you everything you need to know about every indicator that we offer and how to use them. So it's like, this is completely transparent. We want to make sure you know exactly what you're signing up for. If you go on here, you can, you know, look to see if this fits your trading style. We have designed these indicators to fit any trading style, any asset that is traded on TradingView. You can use it for. So as you asking about if it's good for Forex, futures, crypto, you know, Bank Nifty for some of you. Yes, it works on all markets. We have videos as well for you guys. And yeah, you can just go through all of these. You can understand how the alert system works, how certain features like premium discount, whatever it is, you can learn that on the resources tab on the website. And if you're on a phone, just hit that tab in the right hand corner, hit resources and guides there. But again, 30% off, use code LUX30 and get 30 days risk free by just clicking that big button. I won't hold you long, but we appreciate you being a part of the stream. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it there. We'll be back next Tuesday, I think, Mickey. I'll let you know if we need to do it a different day. But yeah, every single day we're going to be doing, or sorry, not every day. Every single week we'll be doing multiple live streams, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit that subscribe and the bell on YouTube if you're not in the Discord. But I would recommend joining the Discord. We open up this stream on the Discord to everybody. So, and we're chatting in here as well with VIP members and just anybody who can join. And let's see, somebody said, yeah, the whole live stream will be uploaded, Scott, to the YouTube. You'll be able to see it on there. We have the previous recordings of the other live streams as well. You need to just go to the LuxAlgo YouTube and then go to our the channel page, and there's a tab that says live. So you'll just hit the live thing on there, and you'll be able to watch back this stream and the other streams that we've had. But yeah, Mickey, is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, thank you for everyone showing up, and looking forward to chat this Friday in the VIP room, okay?
Yep.
Back to work. Here we go.
Right. Back to work. All right, guys. Be safe out there in the markets. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Mickey or myself. But we appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Good one. Peace.